not as hard as many people are making it out to be. In fact, a ketogenic diet is probably one of the easiest fat loss strategies that anybody can employ that'll allow us to maintain a healthy body composition long term. You're trying to lose body fat. You don't have to spend months and hours studying the ins and outs of ketosis. Will this food kick me out of ketosis? If I step on a crack, will it break my mom's back and I have to measure my blood glucose and see if I got kicked out of ketosis? Which foods do I need to eat to get into ketosis faster? What's the quickest way to get into ketosis? There's so much confusing clickbait crap out there that many people don't even know where to begin. A ketogenic diet is so freaking simple, so elegantly simple, it's ridiculous. So, here's the basics on how to do keto. We all have minimum protein requirements. In fact, on a ketogenic diet, many people tend to underestimate the importance of getting adequate protein because they've been told that protein turns to sugar and you have to avoid it. And this can lead to a lot of confusion. So getting adequate protein is the first building block of a solid long-term ketogenic diet. About 0.8 grams per pound of your lean body mass is a great place where everybody will know they're getting enough protein. Yes, you can do well with a little bit less in many cases, and some people will do well with more, but 0.8 grams per pound of your lean body mass, that's your total weight minus your fat mass. Some people call this reference body weight. Let's say that you're 20% body fat and you weigh 200 pounds, then your reference body weight would be 160 pounds, that's your lean body mass. So 0.8 grams per pound of your lean body mass is plenty of protein, even for intense resistance training individuals. Get enough protein. You've got two sources of energy, of fuel that you can fuel your body with dietarily. That's carbohydrate and fat. We're pulling the carbohydrates out. They're not an energy source anymore. Fat is the energy source. That fat can either come from our body or from the plate. When we're first adapting to a ketogenic diet, having higher fat intake or even eating fat to satiety can be a good strategy for some people, but long term, we're looking at tapping into our body fat, not just burning dietary fat. In fact, a lot of the metabolic advantages to ketosis come from burning body fat rather than dietary fat. Most of our stem cells in our body that will help rejuvenate and regenerate our immune system are actually found in our adipose tissues. So when we're burning our own body fat, we're releasing stem cells that actually help to heal our body further. Fascinating, right? So get enough protein, 0.8 grams per pound of your lean body mass. Keep those carbs low, about 20 to 30 grams net carbs for most people, or 50 grams total carbs, but those carbs better be coming from just vegetables, right? Focus on leafy green vegetables if you're into veggies. Some people don't do that well with higher fiber intake. I'm not saying that everybody needs a lot of fiber, but fiber can help a lot of people with satiety, and those veggies are good carriers for things like magnesium and potassium, and sodium as well. So, get enough protein. Fat's the energy source. It can come from your plate or from your body. Eating fat to satiety in the beginning and having higher fat intake can be useful for a lot of people, but then dialing in those macros so that we can burn our own body fat is the long-term strategy for fat loss. Keep the electrolytes up. Make sure to get enough sodium. Most people do well with about 5,000 to 7,000 milligrams of sodium per day. Potassium, magnesium can be gotten through dietary sources or supplementary potassium magnesium. I don't recommend using magnesium oxide because it is a laxative, so use something like a magnesium glycinate, or even moderate doses of magnesium citrate can be good. Some people like magnesium malate. My favorite is magnesium glycinate. I usually recommend that clients supplement with magnesium because it can be hard to get it from dietary sources. 100% chocolate and 100% cacao can be a great source of magnesium. Potassium can be gotten from foods like avocados, spinach, and leafy green veggies. And that's it. That's the backbone of keto. That's how you get started. And a lot of people run into problems with long-term dieting, with long-term body composition changes and desired body composition changes. When people start looking at their body like it's some kind of a sculpture, things can get a little wacky. So I got a really awesome email from somebody who's been watching the channel for a while. Rachel says, I've been a fan of yours for a long time. Just wanted to thank you for your latest vlog. I competed 4 times in figure as a natural athlete and have plans to do it one more time in another year. I'm almost 50. Then I'm pulling the plug for good. And I think that's a great idea. It's no secret that I am not a big fan of fitness competitions. Not a big fan of it, especially for the ladies. These are essentially sanctioned and approved eating disorder pageants for many people that end up destroying people's endocrine systems and health long term sometimes, and also really reinforce negative cycles of behavior and self-perception and self-image. So I do not coach fitness competitors for contest prep. Right? There's this entire industry out there of contest prep coaches who'll teach you how to starve yourself real good. And it's ridiculous and it's insane. So I totally agree with her here. So she says, why compete? The environment doesn't seem to offer many the modern environment doesn't seem to offer many physical challenges. And there is something to be said for seeing how far you can push yourself. And I totally agree with this, right? Most of us are working inside. Here I am now, talking into a camera, in front of a computer. I've got meetings all the time with clients. We're putting together a community coaching course right now. So I spend a lot of time working with technology, disconnected from my body to a certain extent, even though I use a standing desk and I like to move dynamically throughout the day and try to keep my body active and flowing and keep my fascia tissue moving in different dynamic ways that feel good. She is absolutely right though. We don't have a lot of physical challenges in this modern world, and we are used to it and we are hardwired to have these physical challenges, and it feels good. We release loads of dopamine when we do something physical and it turns out right. Like if you build something and it works, your brain explodes with passion and enjoyment. So, we need challenges. But sometimes the structures that we're given in our modern world for the challenges that we engage in, they're not always healthy. So she says, competing in bodybuilding, however, is very toxic in more ways than you mention. And you're absolutely right, Rachel. It's toxic in many more ways than I mentioned. I was being tongue-in-cheek when I called it sanctioned eating disorder pageants, right? It's toxic in many more ways than you mentioned. Everything from predatory coaches. Yes, this is something I've seen many times. The fitness industry is full of charlatans, predatory coaches, and I'm not talking just about predatory coaches like people who are trying to rip you off and sell you on coaching, just, you know, give you shitty macros, which anybody can do, tell you how to starve yourself. Here, get on stage, get shredded. These are what drugs you can take. Here's my sources for steroids. I'm not just talking about that, but also straight up predators, like dudes that are just trying to get ladies to send them naked pictures of themselves posing with their butts, right? Like I can't tell you how many of these fitness coaches I've seen in forums and groups and stuff, private messaging ladies with like really weird requests, and even, you know, posting on their personal pages stuff like you know, ladies with their pants down showing their butts and saying, hey, check it out, you know, I'm totally helping this girl with her contest prep. I really helped her make her glutes a little bit better. It's awesome. Like, I'm now accepting clients. It's ridiculous. There are loads of predatory coaches out there. She says, and then pretty much everyone in the sport being a nutcase, and the fact that more and more women embrace taking anabolic steroids such as Anavar and Winstrol. Such as Anavar and Winstrol, but then there's more too. I'm talking about the thyroid hormone that many people are taking, and some of the more dangerous compounds that people take as well. Okay, also it was startling to see how many people were willing to forsake their financial security. And, you know, you forgot to mention here also, like, your relationships. You know, I mean, how many ladies have, or men too, have completely ruined their relationships while they're tanking their hormones, driving themselves nuts, obsessing over how their body looks, and, you know, idolizing this image of what they believe their body needs to look like so they can get on stage and win in the competitions that they pay to engage in. You're literally paying to get on stage and be judged by the sweaty, smelly, mouth-breathing, obese dudes sitting in the corner there at their little table. Right? You ever seen the judges at these fitness competitions? They're people who have never been fit, most of them. I'm not saying they're bad because they've never been fit, but it's like, how strange is this world of bikini competitions, of figure competitions, men's bodybuilding, men's physique? It is so weird, it's ridiculous. And you're right though, I mean, you know, people quitting their jobs, taking crap jobs in gyms and stuff to chase a pro card. And she says, that doesn't even guarantee an income. You're right. In most cases, it's the opposite. In most cases, people are ruining their financial stability, ruining their emotional stability, and ruining their relationships and their family life in order to chase this madness. I can't tell you how many female clients I've had over the last year who have lost their fertility and almost lost their minds and ruined relationships. And men too. It's not just women. But the hormonal issues and loss of fertility is especially obvious in women because when you lose your cycle, it's very obvious. You know, I mean, men can have low testosterone, still be taking steroids, still be taking exogenous hormones and think they're fine, think they're going to be good. But with the women, the hormonal issues can become markedly dangerous. I cannot tell you how many people just blindly follow their coaches and who have no clue about the female endocrine system. Right? Oh, I would teach you body recompositioning, contest prep, get you stage ready. You know, starve yourself real good, girl. It's insane. These athletes, I like how you put athletes in quotes too, right? You know, starving yourself, lifting weights in a gym 3 times a week, lifting some weights and starving yourself doesn't make you an athlete, okay? Paying to enter a fitness competition, walk up on stage, smile in front of the judges, that doesn't make us athletes, guys. Come on now, let's keep it in perspective. You're paying to do these competitions. How nuts is this? These athletes do not have 1 ounce of curiosity about anything related to diet and training. Well, some of them do. Maybe a lot of them know a lot about how to get really lean. They know a lot about how this is going to affect their long-term health. Probably not. So you'll see them doing a lot of silly stuff in the gym. Many of them just look miserable while training, don't seem to enjoy lifting for its own sake. A lot of women who compete seem to struggle post-contest and binge like crazy. Yes. I had the opposite problem. I continued to do a slow reverse diet, never dropped cardio, and permanently tanked my hormones, etc. One thing I'll say here is, you know, you can recover from these states, right? The body will recover. It seems permanent. Sometimes the effects can last for a year or more, especially in women, especially if stress is still high and you don't balance it out. But yeah, it doesn't have to be permanent. But she says, permanently tank my hormones, etc. My stage weight was 120, stayed at 127 for over a year. Now I'm 148. The funny thing is, I can do more strict pull-ups now compared to when I was hyper lean. Of course, you've got proper hormone balance now. You're not starving, your body doesn't think it's dying anymore. So of course you're stronger. Of course your sex drive is better when you're at a healthy weight, right? Women who have ribs showing all the time, women who've got veins all over the bellies, who are not having their period, who are not fertile, are not healthy. This is not a healthy state to be in. This is not a healthy, ideal body image to seek. Okay? All right. Once I'm done, I plan to sit around 140 pounds and just keep lifting as much as I do now because I really enjoy it. That's great. You know, lift for the lifting's sake, right? Yeah, build some muscle if it's fun and it feels good. Enjoy the process. That's what's important. She says, I do keto all the time because I really enjoy the food. Yeah, same with me, right? I enjoy the food. I love it. I love being able to eat fatty, salty foods all the time. And I love how it keeps my inflammation low and allows me to eat breakfast and dinner and then move on with my life. And that's it. I'll leave the dysfunction to the youngsters who are chasing that pro card dream, she says. And she goes on to mention like some Facebook groups. I see many emaciated women posting selfies on there along with their pitiful macros. Yet they're constantly receiving validation from others. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, right? The Facebook validation. The Instagram stars. This is dangerous, guys. this whole social media thing, and I'm reaching out to you via YouTube, via social media, but it's not healthy for everybody. And these tools can be turned against us. All right. She says, you tell me if you think doing PSMF, which is a protein-sparing modified fast, for weeks on end and then carb binging is healthy. And that's what many of these self-proclaimed athletes are doing when they pay to get up on stage in their bikinis, the spray tans, right? With goop all over themselves, weird oil all over themselves. Get up, smile, do one little weird pose. You don't even flex in these competitions either. And then you move on. You paid your money and you're out. It's crazy, it's madness. So yeah, thanks for the email. I totally agree. I do not do contest prep coaching for a reason. I don't associate with fitness industry gurus for a reason. I don't promote fitness industry nonsense, supplements for a reason. We do our own thing here. We try to keep it as real as possible and give you guys the tools you need to lose body fat, to maintain a healthy lifestyle, or to build muscle, whatever it is you're trying to do, body recomposition, long term in a healthy way. All right, so we don't teach McDonald's keto. We don't teach contest prep. And I don't coach contest prep. In fact, one of my favorite type of client to coach are post-contest females. I love working with women whose hormones have been tanked by this crap that they see in the fitness industry. I love hearing their stories, and I love seeing them recover from the nonsense starvation that they've put themselves through, and help them get perspective. I love it. So thank you so much for the email. You laid out exactly why I don't associate with a lot of these people in the fitness industry, why I don't associate with contest prep coaching and stuff like that. We're about health. We're about vitality. We're about family, right? You hear my kids screaming, crying in the background right now as the sun's going down. So for me, it's about keeping it simple. For me, it's about a lifestyle that is conducive to health, that includes beneficial, healthy movement patterns, that includes a beneficial, healthy, nutrient-dense, whole foods diet. And that's why Jessica made the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. We made this, it's called a training manual for low-carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine, because it's not just a list of recipes, right? It's just like when we do coaching. In our Keto Community Coaching course, which starts in April in like 2 weeks, and enrollment is open now. We're about 50% full of what we said would be our maximum. We might take on about 10 more people in this group, maybe up to 20 more. But enrollment's going to end on, I think, April 5th, and we're beginning April 8th for the first 4-week, the Keto Collective Community Coaching course. And this is going to be focused on all the aspects, the holistic, healthy lifestyle, and of course, using a ketogenic diet as the main dietary tool there. So we're going to work on and teach you about intermittent fasting. We're going to teach everybody about how to properly formulate macros, how to do your macros, and how to adjust them long-term according to your goals, how to do strategic refeeds. And I'm not talking about carb refeeds. I'm talking about refeeds how we've been teaching it for years, where you just eat more keto foods when you need to. And we're going to be keeping it as simple and straightforward as possible, so that everybody that comes to us can then go and transmit that knowledge to other people. So this is a community-based coaching course. It's going to involve a lot of community interaction with everybody, and we're not using Facebook. We're not using a Facebook group because I think Facebook is a very toxic environment. And we're actually going to be using a Discord server where people will be able to live voice chat with each other at any time. We're going to be doing lots of live events, live hangouts, and Q&As. They're going to be exclusive to the Keto Collective Community Coaching course. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's why we developed these tools, to give you real, applicable, solid, implementable long-term solutions, to give you long-term strategies to help you maintain a healthy lifestyle, not just starve yourself into oblivion on a McDonald's keto diet, right? So that's what we're about. So today was a good day. I got to move around, hang out with my family, do some meaningful work. And I got to read this awesome email. So keep it simple, guys. It's not as difficult as people make it out to be. Get your macros right, get your electrolytes in, and enjoy the ride. Having a solid foundation of nutrient-dense keto meals is crucial. Check out Jessica's book, The Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, a training manual for low-carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. We're going to be teaching from this book extensively in the Keto Collective Community Coaching course and using a lot of examples from the book. But, yeah, broaden your horizons, guys. Include organ meats in your diet. Include some of these foods. We've got an entire section on how to make organ meats, how to use beef heart. Right, like a seared beef heart steaks recipe. It's one of my favorites. Beef heart meatballs, stuff like that. There are ways to incorporate organ meats that can be delicious, and these are some of the most nutrient-dense parts of the animal that a lot of people overlook. So keep it simple. It's about long-term lifestyle changes, not short-term, haphazard approaches to diet and body composition changes. So get off the computer, get out there in the world, talk to your neighbors, talk to your family, look people in the eyes, and live. Get off of social media, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.